All right, good evening again, SACE National Family. This is Matt Diaz coming to you live for our next segment in the National Leadership Webinar Series. And so we're really excited to have you this evening. Thank you for taking time out of your school week, or at least summer week, and joining us here this evening. So really excited about tonight's presentation, our webinar, especially our guest speaker. So as many already know, we're talking all things national conference. So I hope you're as excited as I am. And so before we actually bring on our guest speaker, there's a couple things I want to go ahead and mention. So again, if this is your first time joining us, right here in the upper, let's see, right-hand side of your screen, my left, your right, one of the two, you're going to see this little shape. And this shape is going to allow you to toggle between the showcase feature, which is going to allow you to download certain documents or even view certain websites that are going to be interactive in tonight's portion or tonight's webinar, as well as it's going to give you the option to go to the question and answer forum. So keep in mind, as we are broadcasting live, there's going to be about a 20-second delay before it reaches your end. So we definitely encourage you to enter any questions that come up throughout the presentation right there when it comes to you. So that way, when our speaker, when Jessica gets to the Q&A section, there'll already be some questions in the queue, and she can go ahead and start answering those directly as well too. So as questions come up, feel free to go ahead and enter them live. And so if you want to go ahead and jump over to that icon right now and toggle over to the showcase feature, you're going to see you have the ability to go ahead and register for tonight's webinar. So go ahead and clock in, let us know you're here, and we're going to go ahead and get started. So without further ado, the last thing I want to do is obviously bring to the screen our main attraction, and I'm going to read her bio right now real quick. So many of you already know her, so she doesn't require any introduction to you, and for those of you who've yet to meet her, you'll meet her soon in national conference. So Jessica Moy was introduced to SACE by her husband, Clifton. Jessica received her BA in International Studies with a Japan focus at Colorado State University, and her Master's in International Studies with China focus at the University of Denver. Her previous jobs have included being a coordinator for international relations on the Japan Exchange Teaching Program, or the JET program, and being an outreach coordinator for the University of Colorado Boulder's program for teaching East Asia. When she's not working with SACE as outstanding volunteers to help coordinate our national conference, she enjoys spending time with Clifton and her soon-to-be 3-year-old son, Jacob. So without further ado, I'd like to turn the screen over to Miss Jessica Moy. Jessica.
Thank you for the introduction, Matt, and thank you everyone for joining the call tonight. As Matt mentioned, I've been the SACE National Conference Coordinator for the past 2 years, and it's my privilege tonight to be able to share with you all of the exciting events we have planned for SACE National Conference and STEM Career Fair 2015. So I know several of you have attended a SACE National Conference in the past, but I also know that we have some people joining in on this call that will be attending for the first time. So I'll try to keep it very general, give you a good overview of it, but I'll also go into more detail and make sure to have a lot more detail in the showcase that Matt was mentioning earlier. So during this webinar, for the agenda slide, I plan on reviewing the conference history. I'll then talk about the conference structure. Next, I'll go over the schedule, some new additions we have this year. And finally, I'll supply you with an information packet with what we have up to date in regards to the conference and some promotional material that you can use to convince your friends and chapter members to attend. So as Matt was mentioning, if you have questions throughout the presentation, please just go ahead and type them in the Q&A. And then at the end of the webinar, I'll make sure to get to as many as I can. So before going into the conference history, I'm excited to share with you and start off this webinar by sharing a statistics video that was created by the Advertising Committee. So you guys are the first to see this video. It has not been released, and it will not be released until later after, but I wanted to, I love this video, so every time it comes up, it just gets me really excited about the conference and it'll show some of the statistics that I'll be talking about anyway. So if we could get that video queued, it takes about 2 minutes. Okay. So hopefully that came across clear with sound and everything. Thank you again to David Huang and his committee for pulling that together. It has a lot of information in it. And if you could tell, it was made by M&M's and green tea pokey sticks. So that will be posted on social media for you to share with everybody later on at a tentative date. As several of you know, this is, going back to the history, this is SASE's 5th national conference, and we're already expecting over 2,500 attendees. So if you just think about it, that really shows how quickly SASE has grown at the national conference level. So we started off in Baltimore in 2011 with around 500 attendees. That number reached closer to 800 by the second year. I started back in 2013 when the conference moved to Philadelphia, and we had 1,300 attendees. And then last year in Philadelphia, we had 1,800 attendees. So everyone knows that things are always bigger in Texas, and the conference is no exception. So as you can see from these graphs, there's a lot of diversity at the national level, and sponsors have also increased. So in 2015, we're actually looking at closer to 70+ sponsors. At this point, I want to go a little bit into the national conference structure. So for this overall slide, I know it's a bit overwhelming. I was warned by Khan that showing this to a bunch of engineers and scientists might not look as organized, but this is very visual to me, and the main purpose of it is just to show that there's many different parts of the conference and different pieces of that are working together to create a seamless experience for the attendees. So with this next slide, you can see we actually have close to 40 volunteers that work specifically for the national conference. They're split up into logistics, programming, attendance advertising committees, and then this year we have a special events committee. So if you ever have any questions relating to any of these committees, of course I can assist you, or you can reach directly to one of the committee managers. I've listed all of their contact information here. They can also provide further guidance. These managers report to the standing committee. It also oversees the special events, which is SASE Fest, SASE Hack, and P&G's Inno service. And I'll go into more detail about SASE Fest and SASE Hack in a little bit, since they're both new to the conference this year. So now onto the schedule and what to expect. So you may have seen in the July SASE Express or in social media posts that the company tour registrations are now open. In the past couple of years, SASE has provided walking tours for those attending earlier on Thursday, and then 3 years ago in Baltimore, a tour was arranged at NASA, and it actually sold out within 48 hours. So this year, company tours will be provided by NASA, GE, and Shell, and I do highly recommend that you register for these early since seats are very limited, and once they're sold out, they're only available by the wait list. So in the showcase and online, you'll be able to see the NASA link to register, or the links to register. It's important to know the NASA tour will depart from the Hilton Americas Houston as early as 10 a.m. on Thursday, so please remember this when booking your flights. The Shell and GE tours will also depart Thursday prior to the start of conference. They're starting at 1 and 1:30 respectively. So just make sure you get in with plenty of time to get to the hotel, get situated, and then we'll send out more information of where to meet once you've registered for these tours. So this year, SASE will be adding on a new edition, again, before the opening reception. So for those professionals that are listening this evening, there's going to be 2 professional panels and a professional networking session before the opening reception on Thursday. Those aren't listed on the screen that you're seeing, but they will be in the draft schedule. It'll start at 3 o'clock, and then the networking session will be right after that. So if you're a professional or a graduating senior, please do make sure to take advantage of these new opportunities. And again, more information will be provided to professionals later as they register. The opening reception we have starting at 6:30 on Thursday, October 8th, and we'll have light appetizers provided before the Inspire Awards are announced, and then the groups will break off into game night and professional networking. So both of these are very relaxed events intended for the attendees to have fun time networking and just relax as everyone meets up at the Hilton Americas Houston. So I know that the Networking, Entertainment, and Game Night Committee volunteers have been very hard working to come up with ideas to make your evening enjoyable, and I'm sure you won't be disappointed. Game Night registration is actually set to open on August 12th, so start thinking about those you want on your team for the superhero-themed event. On to Friday morning. We'll open up with a breakfast and have a lively entertainment group. And then the day is filled with 4 tracks of at least 10 workshops. So this means that there's over 40 workshops from which to choose again this year. I'll be sharing an information packet later, and in this packet, it'll list out the tracks decided by the programming committee, and those tracks include such as personal and professional development and financial literacy. We'll also have tracks specifically focused on science and technology, and all of the speakers are outstanding. So I put just in this showcase, you can see Dr. William Cohn is one of the speakers for the science track. He also presented on TEDMed, and you can take a look at his. All of the other speakers will be showcased later on through social media as we get closer to the conference. Those who register early will be informed of when workshop registration opens. It'll be closer towards the end of August or early September. But don't wait until then to register. I'll make sure that emails go out so that you know when registration is open for the workshops. So I do want to take a quick moment to point out that by registering early, your name will be added to a drawing for a chance to win one of 10 polos or one of 3 complimentary registrations that'll be raffled off. So the earlier you register, the more times your names will be added to the raffle, which will take place August 13th. The full conference registration is really only $90 before September 12th, and then it only goes up $20 after that to $110 for full conference. This includes not only what I've mentioned in the schedule to this point, but also a keynote lunch, dinner gala, and then the Saturday breakfast before the career fair. So you get 4 meals for this price of the $90. I have to point out just here that the $90 doesn't even cover the cost of the dinner gala event alone. But due to the generous sponsors that we have, who I'll mention at the end, SASE is able to subsidize a substantial part of the attendee cost to participate. So actually SASE loses money from every registrant, but the companies realize the importance of the talent in SASE, so they're able to help you attend with such a low fee. To have just a small comparison, other conferences can be closer to $400 to $500 from the same caliber. For those that are still concerned about the cost, we do have the chapter funding link that's available, and that'll be open until August 23rd. So for those chapters wanting to request extra funding, I highly recommend you do so, and that link is also just posted in the showcase. So again, for those professionals and graduating seniors listening tonight, please know that SASE plans on having professional-only workshops again this year. They'll include topics such as Six Sigma, crisis management, career coaching, pay negotiations, and mixology training. So for this mixology course, we'll actually take a shuttle and transport the attendees to a local bar to learn about how to make mixed drinks. So all of these extra courses do have an extra cost added on. It's only around $20 to $50. Some of them alone cost closer to $300 or $400 or $200 for the Six Sigma usually, but they are, again, heavily subsidized, and the Navy will be sponsoring that. So it'll be well worth your money spent. Again, these are only open to professionals, but it's something to look forward to when you find yourself in that stage. Okay, so next after the dinner gala, we have presentations of awards on Friday evening, and then the night ends with hospitality suites. So again, we're anticipating around 10 companies to participate, which is more than double from 2 years ago. These hospitality suites are a great opportunity to meet the company recruiters in an informal setting, and then ask any questions about the company that you may have so you can get to know them, and they can get to know you more on a personal level. So it'll just feel a lot more casual when you walk into the interview the next day or at the career fair booth and see them. You can kind of talk about what your conversation where you left off. Saturday, October 10th is the last day of the career fair. It's the largest Asian American STEM career fair in the U.S., and it'll open with a ribbon cutting ceremony from the board members and official dignitaries at 9:45 a.m. So make sure that you're there early if you want to see this ribbon cutting ceremony. And again, there'll be around 70 plus sponsors that will be having booths at the career fair. In the past, the STEM career fair has concluded the majority of the national conference. But this year, as I mentioned, we're adding on SASE Fest and SASE Hack. So those will be added in the showcase. And let me explain kind of what these are. So SASE Fest is going to take place from 4:30 until 8 after the STEM Career Fair, and it's complimentary to those that have registered full conference. SASE has joined this year with collaboration, and we're presenting a South by Southwest experience of Asian American talent being showcased on 4 stages throughout the evening. So we'll have vocals and dance and acoustics, and then the headliner stage, and all of these are working together. We're in the process of getting the headliner, and several talent groups from last week's Collaboration Houston event will also be performing. So Khan, the executive director, had the opportunity to speak in front of Collaboration Houston event, and there was, what, 400 to 500 people at this or I think it was actually 500 to 600 attendees that heard locally what SASE Fest is and are excited for the event. So it'll be a fun time. We'll have food trucks outside where you can eat and just wind down after a really busy conference. So again, when booking your flights, please make sure to stay for at least part of this unique experience. And if you are interested in the headliner, of course that always takes place at the end, so the official ending of that will be 8 o'clock. The official end of the conference, however, if you're interested in the hackathon, or for SASE Hack, will be at 6 p.m. on Sunday, October 11th. So SASE Hack is a 24-hour event, and the prize money will be awarded to winners at that 6 o'clock time. And we're anticipating around 60 attendees. So it's not a huge event, but it is geared more towards IT. And if you're interested in joining, again, that's just through the registration system. It'll ask, are you interested in SASE Hack? This is also one of the few events that'll take place off-site at the Hilton Americas Houston. It's only located about a mile away, so the hotel shuttles will be able to get people to and from the Houston Technology Center. Again, more detailed information on the SASE Hack and SASE Fest will be in the information packet that I'll provide, as well as the website links that will be updated as we have more information. Okay, now that we've gone through the schedule and the new additions of what to expect, I want to point out the website that will continue to be updated throughout the conference. So this design was actually just released a couple of weeks ago, and it's much more mobile friendly. So now if you go to this same link on your phone, you'll be able to still access all of the content on it. I'll talk more about the website in a moment, but I want to talk first about how SASE plans to create a mobile-friendly conference experience for the attendees. So for the first time, SASE is going to be using a mobile app for the national conference. SASE realizes the importance of keeping up with the times, and according to Cvent, which is a conference management company, by next year, over 60% of conferences will be using mobile apps. So this app will help reduce some of the paper trail at the conference and add an ease of convenience, since the information of the speakers, personalized schedule, valuations, and the STEM career fair booth map will also be all right at the palm of your hand. We'll still have magazines available to the attendees, but this mobile app will provide for another avenue of information. Attendees will also be able to download packets provided by the presenters, take notes during the sessions, and request contact information of other attendees. So it'll be another fun new addition to the conference this year, and I really hope that all of you take advantage of it. So we plan on having this be a this mobile app be a native app, and I highly recommend that if you have a portable phone charger that you should bring it along with you to the conference. So there were some complaints last year of people's phone batteries dying, and I know it'll be important for you to have your phone charged to make full use of the mobile app. More details will be provided as it becomes available, but I just wanted to kind of put this idea in your head, since we're really anticipating a high download rate with the population we have within SASE. Okay, so going back to the website, you can see that several of the events I have mentioned are described here in more detail. There's already information up here about the community service, so programs and then down to community service, and how you can get excited and starting to kind of make contributions at the regional level. There's going to be two parts of this community service project again this year. The one that will take place at the conference, where dream catchers will be made, and then this 1,000 Dreams campaign. So even if you have members maybe that aren't able to attend, if they'd like to participate and contribute, all of this money will be donated to the Houston Children's Charity. Another thing on our website that we have this year, unlike years past, is this promotional place. So if you go to attendees to media downloads, you can click on this, and this will have all of the up-to-date banners, flyers, any downloads that you can share. Again, new this year is a student email template. So if you're concerned about not having your professors allow you to attend because you have a final or class that day. This is just an example you can use to show your professors, as well as this information packet that I keep referring to. So please note, it's still in draft form. You have to realize that we're still 70 days out from the early registration ending, and things are still being finalized, but as of now, the advertising committee has done a great job of getting everything together and putting it all in a very simple information packet. So this information packet is definitely a new contribution this year, and it's meant to be used as a tool to help chapters better understand what can be expected at National Conference. So you can use it if people have questions about it. Hopefully this will give you a better understanding of what to say for different parts of the conference. In the information packet, you can also see it lists out some benefits of attending, reviews how to overcome barriers. It also highlights some of the logistical aspects of how to get to National Conference, and then some more detailed information about the programming side, what I've been covering through the schedule. The advertising committee has used the data submitted in a previous survey also to come up with the 10 terrible excuses for missing a National Conference. So you can use this as a reference to respond when you hear of the terrible excuses from your friends. So why aren't you going? Because I don't know anybody, or it's too expensive, or I don't have my resume done. This will just give you some ways to respond. But basically, it's just a fun way to highlight all of the reasons to attend National Conference and what you have to look forward to. So what is it that you have to look forward to? Well, October 12th, or excuse me, I must jump in ahead. It's actually August 12th is the game night registration link will be up. August 13th will be the cutoff for the early registration contest. And August 16th, I haven't mentioned this one yet, but excuse me, August 15th, the resumes will start to be submitted for company reviews. So all of these deadlines are within the next couple of weeks. And hopefully it gives you a sense of urgency to register and get hyped up for NC 2015. I want to conclude this webinar by sharing with you a list of the sponsors that have already financially supported SASE for the upcoming 2015 conference. As I mentioned, we're expecting the number to be around 70 plus sponsors, and over half of them have already committed financially to promoting the values of SASE. New this year is also the addition of an Organizational Advisory Council, or OAC. And currently we have 13 companies that are dedicated to supporting SASE at an organizational level. So I just really want to stress, SASE could never be the organization it is without all of these committed sponsors. And in addition, you have to realize that SASE is a volunteer organization. So SASE wouldn't be the way it is without all the volunteers that are putting this together, came up with these packets, this the information that I could share tonight, just really the program committee, logistics, attendance, and advertising, they're all pulling it together so you guys can have a very seamless experience and a very fun, unique opportunity to network and get to know all of these sponsors at a personal level. So the volunteers, I can't thank you enough. You put in a tremendous amount of hours, not just the National Conference volunteers, but all of the volunteers from the regional marketing and regional managers, and just getting the word out through the collegiate chapters. For those that are chapter leaders, you can really take this more to heart, but if you're attending as an attendee, just please use this information that what we have. And thank you again for attending, and at least you took this half hour or so of educating yourself more about the conference. I'm sure there's several questions if I can help answer those. But thank you again for allowing me to have the opportunity to share with what we have so far. So Matt, back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Jessica. Definitely some great input, great insight. And so for everybody who's joining the webinar, if there's something that you want to go back to and you want to be able to find more information on, this is obviously going to be recorded on the Google Plus page.
Matt's muted. I could try to lip read, but I don't know what he's saying. So.
Thank you, Jessica. Oh, I just left a brilliant, brilliant monologue there. Unfortunately, that's just going to stay with me. So thank you again for an incredible presentation. So this, what I was just sharing with everybody is we shared a lot of information. If at any point you want to go back and view the replay of this.
Matt, you're still muted, but I know he's talking about the next upcoming webinar that will take place. Did you want to try one more time to unmute yourself? Or I can announce this one.
You know, why don't you go ahead, please?
Okay, I've got it. Okay, so the next webinar will be taking place on August 26th. It'll be Tom Fernandez. And Tom Fernandez is actually one of the co-founders of SASE. And it looks like he's going to be talking about the SASE's 6 E's of leadership. So make sure you stay tuned. It's the same Wednesday, last Wednesday of the month at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I think that's what he wanted to say.
Yes, that is exactly what I. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Oh, I am coming through. Good. So everybody who's watching this, thank you again for joining us. Again, mark your calendars because the next webinar, like Jessica just said, is the final Wednesday of September. So again, we're really looking forward to this leadership assessment and everything that's going to be rolled out. So it's going to be rolled out. It's going to be available for the volunteers as well as all of the chapter members nationwide. So this is going to be a great tool for you to be able to take a self-assessment on where you're currently at within your leadership skills, but then to be able to continue building off of that every 6 months and continue to take your leadership assessment and just be able to track your progress and track your growth. And this is going to be something that's going to be very attractive to the recruiters. So as more and more companies come to SASE National Conference and they are looking to interview individuals, you know, one of the things they're going to start asking is, you know, okay, where's your leadership assessment? Where are you at? How have you been progressing? So it's definitely going to be a very powerful tool, and so there's going to be more information to come on that webinar. So again, that webinar is Wednesday, August 26th, the last Wednesday of August. So thank you again for taking your time and out of your summer schedule, and let me just confirm that we don't have any questions in the queue. I do not see any. So with that, thank you guys for joining us and gals, and we look forward to seeing you at the next leadership webinar. Thank you and have a great night. Bye-bye.